DJI just released the new Mavic Pro 2 and it looks absolutely mind-blowing. Let's dive into it. Hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because this channel is all about content creation in the digital space, whether it be photography, video, or graphic design, whatever it may be, we're going to be talking about it. So I'm super excited because DJI just announced the new Mavic Pro 2 and the different types of versions you can get with it. And someone that's like flown the DJI Inspire, the DJI Phantom 3 and 4, the DJI Mavic Pro, the DJI Mavic Air, I'm a big drone enthusiast. I love droning. I love getting all that shots. And this is something that really was getting me excited about the fact that DJI was coming off a new release and they finally push it off. And there's some aspects where I'm a little hesitant to be excited about, but there are definitely new features that I'm like, woo! It's going to hurt my wall a little bit if I'm really thinking about getting it. I might not get it just because I'm going to get into that later, but let's talk about the new features the new DJI Mavic Pro 2 has to offer. There's actually two new versions coming out. It's the new DJI Mavic Pro 2 with just a Hasselblad fixed focus lens. It's around 24 millimeters. And then there's their zoom lens with their own camera brand that's between, I think, 24 millimeters to 44 millimeter zoom. We're going to talk a little bit more about the pros and cons of each one, but the Hasselblad is the one that has me super excited because they've partnered up with Hasselblad. So now they have their color science. Now they've also added a 1-inch sensor. That is incredible because my biggest issue with DJI drones and just drones in general is that the sensors are so small. So your dynamic range is really lacking. You want to shoot at low light, the sunset. The dynamic range is never there. You're going to get grainy footage in the darks. Yeah, there's ways around it with color profiles, but it's never perfect. It's now supporting 10-bit D-Log footage, which is something super special that we really need to take a look into because the fact, since it is D-Log, that means it allows you to shoot HDR video, something drones in this market hasn't really been able to provide us in such a small form factor. So I'm really excited that the color straight out of bat with this drone is going to be beautiful. Color correcting any of the DJI footage is kind of a hassle. It breaks really easily. Now the fact that we have this 10-bit D-Log footage integrated with the Hasselblad coloring system really makes a special design. This is all being wrapped in an H.264 codec that is something that we really needed from the DJI lineup, and it's just going to make editing and color correcting that much easier. Another great feature about the new DJI Mavic Pro 2 is the fact that it now has varying aperture from a 2.8 to an f11, which is something that's really magical. It allows you to really play with your footage. You can really dive deep, get really shallow depths of field. You have a bigger sensor. So with a bigger sensor plus a 2.8 allows you to get really shallow depth of field. Even though it's only a 24 millimeter lens, you could still really play around and get really high dynamic shots. Another amazing thing that Hasselblad is now providing DJI with is that they have 20 megapixel stills. That is super high quality. That is, the 1DX shoots at 20 megapixels. Yeah, it's not going to be as sharp and as crisp, but still, that's a big step up from their 12 megapixel photos that they've been providing us all along. The Hasselblad and DJI combination, I think, is something that's going to be put down in the history books in terms of drone history. I mean, anything that DJI does is going to be put in the history books, but that's a really nice combination that I want to see more of in this market. Oof, there's going to be some amazing thing that's going to be happening. And now for the other drone that they're coming out with, which I'm not too excited about. It's mainly for like nature photographers or wildlife photographers. So they have a zoom lens now. I believe it's a 24 millimeter to a, I think, 44 millimeter lens. The aperture doesn't go as shallow as the other one, and they say you can get to like a 6x zoom, but then you're not going to get 4K with the 6K. It's a mess. But anyways, you can still get some pretty dynamic and cinematic shots with it. It allows you to punch into your subject without getting too close or scaring them away, which is a nice feature. It has the same camera technology and sensor processing as their other drones, so there's not really a boost in that department. I believe it only shoots 12 megapixels for the photos, but it does have a super resolution version which stitches in a bunch of different photos to get you around 44 or 42 megapixel photos. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty cool. You get some really nice landscapes for photographers. Again, I think that's another gimmick they're just implementing into this. I feel this one really, to me, feels like a lackluster. There are two cool new advantages to this drone, one of them being the parallax feature. So now you're able to get really cool cinematic parallaxes and you can do dolly zooms with the drone. I think that's probably the coolest gimmick that this drone offer. If I do pick up that drone, which I'm probably not, I'll probably using that feature a lot just because I really love parallax movements and just for those special occasion to get those dolly in. But still, with the other DJI, you can manually do a parallax. I've done it multiple times with big buildings with a smaller subject. It's easy to attain. It's just now they have that feature built in. You can really play with the cinematography of your drone. Something that they were really emphasizing is these new features about cinematography. It's becoming lackluster. When drones first came out, it was mind-blowing. But now that everyone has access to it, it's not as crazy. So they have implemented some new features that you could do. Since they have a better processing system, they allow you to do hyper time lapse, which I find to be a beautiful thing. It goes by kilometers. It looks steady. I know when you actually get to play with it in different wind conditions, it's gonna not be as great as the video footage, but you can definitely smooth it out and make it work. Another great feature that they're adapting to that I think really was needed, and there's other features too that it's just gimmicks to me. The optical detection units is all around the drone. And now, instead of just like coming to a straight hole, because I would notice, okay, I got something, I'm going to come up it, I'm going to go, whoop. Usually what happens is it will go, it'll get scared, so they turn off optical detection. Now, what it's doing is it's allowing you to do smooth movement around the obstacle. So even if it knows you're sensing up, it'll go up. If you know you're going around and you don't sense anything, it'll purposely just go around that object smoothly. Remember, smoothly is the key. We're cinematographers. We want good and smooth footage. And I think this is something that they're really trying to improve on, and I'm so happy they're putting it on. Don't know how long it's going to last. I know the battery life is supposed to be improving, but I want to see it actually on the field, people testing it out, getting their hands on it, and seeing how beautiful and smooth that footage comes out. I'm just super excited about the DJI Mavic Pro 2. Always kind of shocks the industry. It's always something crazy they're coming out with. I'm just excited. I want to get my hands on it, play with it. I want to know your guys' thoughts on the new DJI Mavic Pro 2. I know for a fact I didn't talk about everything about the drone has to offer, but those are the things that I'm looking for as a content creator that does a lot of travel photography and some commercial work here and there and corporate videos. So that's what I'm looking into. Tell me your thoughts down below because I would love to know about it. And if you can find a way to hook me up to test the new DJI Mavic Pro 2, that would be phenomenal. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please hit that like and subscribe button because I come out with videos every week. Kiss, kiss.